Hello and welcome to the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Joining me right here today is Larry Rice from the Big Cheese Band. Larry, how are you?
Great. How are you all doing?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, my pleasure. It's fun.
So why don't we get started by getting to know you a little bit and how you got started in your musical journey?
Well, I'm an older guy and I've been playing a long time. I started, me personally, I could talk about the other members in a bit, but me personally, I started playing music when I was 12 and I've been playing ever since, and started out with electric bass and then added along the way, added banjo and guitar and fiddle and ukulele and mandolin. So I played a lot of instruments, and you can see some of them behind me. It's my arsenal, and have a lot of fun with music. In 1983, my oldest daughter Lee May, she was born, and when we started playing together as as the Big Cheese Band back in 2007, and we started out humbly with just open mics, and then we found we could write songs together. So we've been doing it now ever since, and we played like all over the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. It's been a lot of fun, real joy to play with my daughter, of course. Other members are Chris Dugmore, who joined the band probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. He plays guitar and upright and electric bass and piano, and he's been a great addition. And Lee and I were just playing somewhere, and he came up and said, "Hey, do you guys need a bass player?" And we were like, "Well, hell yeah," So, and he's really good. So it was just, we were lucky that way. And then the fourth member, Holly Rose Weber, she used to be a fiddle student of mine. And then she stopped taking lessons and she went off to college. And we had our fourth album, Among the Stars, we wanted to record. So we asked her to join us in the band. So she's been a member of the band ever since. She's a really great fiddler and plays other instruments too. Got a real nice voice. So between myself and Lee May and Holly, we have some real nice 3-part harmony. We use that a lot. Harmony is one of our things.
That's wonderful. Now, this is a really interesting question. How did you guys come up with the name The Big Cheese Band?
Well, yeah, that's a good question, because what the heck, why would you, like, so what are we? We're kind of alt folk, Americana, I don't know how you could categorize us, but that's where we're at, and we're fine with that. But where'd you come up? Why would you call a band like that? Well, it was actually a joke that my daughter made that I took seriously. We were early on. We were playing open mics, and at open mics you give your name, or if there's 2 people, you give 2 names, or the host that evening suggests, well, if it's 2, why don't you come up with a band name? So I think this was early on in the texting thing, and I texted her and, hey, what should we call ourselves? And she jokingly said, The Big Cheese. And I thought, oh, okay, she was just joking, but I took it seriously. And the host of that open mic, Ron Goad, who's a local impresario, just a helper of all musicians in the area, he thought it was a great name, and it kind of stuck. And so we stuck with it. And that's how. So a joke gone bad, a joke taken seriously.
That's very, very interesting, and it's one of those things where, right before we jumped on, you were talking about it and how other like metal bands and stuff have that name. So it's very interesting to have an Americana genre be that kind of name with a genre that's so used to being another genre.
Yeah, I mean, it's unique. I mean,
Absolutely.
Unique. And then, I think when, we've had some, charting success, and there's this, it's a name people notice, because it's like, what? The Big Cheese Band, we've had, I don't know if you've had the chance to see on our website and all, but we've had 3 songs now chart on radio. The first was 2 back in 2015 was a great year. First was Life on the River. It was a song written about fun times and fishing on the Shenandoah River. And that went to #1 on AAA stations. It was in the top 10 for 10 weeks and was #1 for 3 weeks. And we were happy that the song that kicked us out of #1 was Don Henley. He had released a kind of a country album at the time, and hit one of his songs finally bumped us out of #1. So that was kind of a thrill. And I could tell you more about the others if you'd like.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, then the other thing we did in 2015 is I teach, things with strings, all these instruments that I've learned to play over the years. And that's what I've done for a living. And so I had a ukulele student one time who was just 3 years old. And it was it's a longer story, but I taught him how to play the ukulele by teaching him chords and say, hey, let's make up a song and we'll use this chord. And so one day he came to his lesson and I said, well, what, we would write these silly songs like, find a duck, find a duck. But this one day he came to his lesson. I said, Jack, what would you like to write about today? And he said, the Christmas crocodile. And Christmas crocodile, and his mom would sit in with us in the lessons. And I looked at her and I went, and she went, and so I said, well, Jack, what would the Christmas crocodile do and say? So I started writing down. And so he gave me a 3-year-old brain dump on all the things Christmas crocodile. And so my daughter Lee and I, we took it and we said, oh, this is just great. And so we made a kind of structured and made a song out. And then we recorded and released it. And it went to #17 on adult contemporary stations that year. And that was fun because I have a screenshot. It's actually on our web page. I have a screenshot of our humble name, the Big Cheese Band, #17. And up at the top is Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran. So it was like very good company to be in. And then finally, this latest release, our EP, Everything, the single off of that, Everything, that went into the top 20 on something called the Jam Band Relix Mix. And it was along with Bonnie Raitt, Tedeschi Trucks, and some other groups. So we thought pretty good to be in that company as well.
So do you guys have any upcoming projects or releases that we can look forward to, Larry?
Well, we are doing some recording, but we're not sure we're going to release. These are like some demos we're just kind of putting together. So not really. I mean, we're always kind of writing, but in terms of planning, putting it together, I mean, it's quite a big project. I think you need to have, a bunch of songs that you feel good about before you, go back to the studio, because it's an expense and you want to be efficient and do that. So not really. Although we are, one fun thing for our live gigs is we're going to have what we're calling the garden tour, where we're all gardeners in the band. And 2 of the band members, my daughter and Chris, they have chickens and beehives. And so we're like little suburban farmers. And so we're going to stream live concerts from each of our gardens. So we'll invite neighbors and friends and the public to come over and listen to us play a set, like right in the middle of our garden. So, and yeah, I think it'd be fun, and we can give tours. I mean, people are really interested, especially the chickens. They're quite interesting, and so that's what our plan is for this coming summer. Something fun to do. We'll have other gigs, but that's something different. We want to, use that to try to reach out to a wider audience than just the DMV, this area.
I think that is very unique, and I think that is going to actually be very successful because who wouldn't want to see a concert at a garden? Like that is just so that is not something that has been done before, Larry. That's cool. I really think
Well,
that would be cool.
well, yeah, yeah, thanks. I hope people and it'll be, we want, like it's, we all have neighbors. And so I think it'd be fun to have all the neighbors over, kind of like a party, and then invite, people on our mailing list and stuff, and then stream it, so if you know got any connections with people who do streaming, I'd appreciate it, because I'm just starting to look into it. So I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing yet, but I will.
I'm trying to think if I know anybody. I don't know off the top of my head right now, but if I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I mean, I know people have been doing streaming,
Mhm.
especially during the pandemic. So it's definitely the companies are out there. I need to find, someone good, someone that can work with us. So we all have high speed internet, so it should work.
That's good.
Right. Yeah.
So what advice would you give somebody that might want to start doing music?
Well, you should try to do what you love doing. In other words, don't try to be, people real fast, they'll want to like categorize you and pigeonhole you. And then we're a great example of sticking to, we've always, started, it was just me and Lee at the start, and we just said, we're going to just do songs we love, and we'll write songs, and we'll just do things we love. That hasn't helped us get gigs because, especially now, there's not that many places to play, and they really want bands to do covers and, all that stuff. And, so we were just happy, doing things we love. Like we play unusual instruments, like Lee May plays a mountain dulcimer. If I had one, I'd show you it, but do you know what that is?
I don't think so. No.
It's a kind of a real folk instrument. Probably if you really wanted to see this, and if anybody that's watching and listening, I'd just go look at Joni Mitchell, watch her play All I Want, and you'll see a mountain dulcimer. It's that you hold it on your lap. You may have seen one, and you kind of strum it. Back in the old days, they used the quill of a feather to strum it, but nowadays you can just use your fingers or a pick, and then you so it's facing up, and so you use your fingers they kind of walk along spider like. Anyway, Lee plays that, and so we've combined. I play ukulele, and then I play it like a clawhammer banjo. So we've put that together. Those two instruments, very unique. And when we do that, when we're playing somewhere, like say we're doing a farmer's market, because we love farmer's markets, they're our jam. And people will get a crowd stop, mostly just to watch Lee play, because most people have never seen one before, and she's pretty good at it. So it's kind of fun. So my advice, just do what you love, and write songs. It's all, if you look at the music industry, there's a lot of pop and top 40, but the artists that are not real dance type music, the ones that have risen to the top, it's because they write great songs. I mean, Ed Sheeran's a great example, and so is Taylor Swift. It's all about the songs, right? Just work on writing your songs, and that would be my advice. Do what you love.
If people want to learn more about you, Larry, where can they find the band?
Well, we're all over the socials, but we have our website, thebigcheesemusic.com. There's a ton of stuff, videos, and our news and our gigs and all that kind of stuff. You can find our merch. And but we're also on Instagram. There's the Big Cheese Music, something like that. We're a little presence on TikTok, Facebook. Facebook, the Big Cheese Band, right? There's Big Cheese Music on Facebook. But yeah, so we're all over those three, and that'd be the place. Starting with our website, because you can see videos of us playing live, and recording all our videos from the EP. So we had five. There's something in these videos that for all 5 songs on the EP, they're really great. We lucked out and got together with this really talented video producer down in Cape Town, South Africa, who did all the videos, and they're really good.
That's wonderful. Larry, is there anything that I forgot to mention that you would like to mention on my show today?
Well, I just like to give a shout out to I've talked a lot about Lee May, my daughter, of course, but I want to give a shout out to Chris Dugmore, who really been a great addition to the band. And of course, Holly Rose Weber, she's like another daughter, because I taught her fiddle from the time she was like 8 to 16. And then when she got better than me, that's when we asked her to join the band. So, and then I like to give a shout out to Marco Del Mar. He is the engineer producer that he's at Recording Arts in Arlington, Virginia. He's fantastic. Also give a shout out to Ron Goad, who's been a real supporter of the Big Cheese Band all these years. And he played drums on our EP. So it's really just great.
Larry from the Big Cheese Band, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's Best Country Mix. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kayden. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck to you.